Think
Alright,
we've got...
webcam take 2.
Got sound this time.
Yep, starting up.
Okay, now...
1, 2, 3, clap! Bethany.
David.
We're up and running. Hey guys.
Hey. So tonight we are going to talk about John 1 and we're going to focus on verses 1 through 18. Okay?
Can I just got one problem.
What's that?
What's that?
I don't have to do the Smith translation.
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that.
We're on the Joseph Smith translation right now.
We'll pull up. We can pull up anything that we need Joseph Smith translation for.
On
On
the TV.
Okay, so John was inspired to seek the Savior because of the testimony of John the Baptist, who declared that he was sent to bear witness of the true life. And John himself also bore powerful witness of the life and mission of the Savior. It's a little confusing because they're both named John.
Yeah.
But
Chapter?
yes, we will read a verse. So it says it might be interesting to make a list of truths that John included in his opening testimony of Christ in verses 1 through 18.
Should we look at the Joseph Smith version or?
Sure. Okay, so we're going to look through and we're going to see if we can find truths that were taught about Jesus. Okay?
Okay. I'll read the first one. In the beginning was the gospel preached through the Son, and the gospel was the Word. And the Word was the Son, and the Son was with God, and the Son was of God.
You know what? That verse in the Joseph Smith translation makes a lot more sense than it does in the
Normal.
yeah.
The
do you
King
wanna see?
James version.
You know, so in John 1 it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. It makes a lot more sense when you read it in the Joseph Smith translation, and a lot more spelled out. That
Can
okay,
I
you're not better.
read it again?
Hold on, side by side.
And it looks so different.
Let's see.
Okay, here, Danny, you can do.
So instead of it just being the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, talks about in the beginning was the gospel preached through the Son, and the gospel was the Word, and the Word was with the Son, and the Son was with God, and the Son was of God. And most people generally interpret that verse to mean that, but it's a lot clearer,
In the JS.
don't you think?
Joseph.
Okay, do you want to read verse 2, Danny?
Yeah, it's a pretty short verse.
The same.
Was in the being with God.
Close, except that's beginning.
With God.
Do you want to read more?
All things were made by him. And out with him.
With, there's kind of two words there.
It's a compound.
So with, do you want to highlight the last 3 letters of that?
Out
Without him. Good.
was not anything made. What was made.
Which was made. Good.
Now in the
In.
in him was the gospel, and the gospel was the light, and the light was the light of men. And now, and normal it was just, in him was life, and the light was the light of men.
Yeah.
And the light shines in the world, and the world
Perceiveth.
it not. And normally it's the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not.
Yeah, it makes a little bit more sense for it to be shining in the world and the world not perceiving it.
When
So that's a good point, though. Is with the translation says "shineth in the darkness." It's if we call that the world has a lot of darkness in
Yeah.
it, right? There's bad things that happen all the time, whether they're natural disasters or people make bad choices and do bad things to other people. A lot of pain and suffering.
or
And so
falls
Jesus
left on
is the
floor.
light. Listen, don't interrupt. That's very rude, please. You can raise your hand if you have a question or a comment.
That's
But-
on topic.
Yep. Jesus is the light that shineth in the world, so that the opposite of all of the darkness that happens in the world comes from Jesus, and that he gives us hope and gives us a way to have that light or to find happiness and peace in the world.
Well, one of the things that points out is it's not necessarily wrong that the light shined in darkness, right? So sometimes what we get in the Joseph Smith translation is not necessarily like a correction. Sometimes it's just more of like an interpretation. Yeah, a clarification.
Yeah, that's most of the Joseph Smith
So
translation.
it just depends. There's different
Clarity.
kinds of interpretations. Okay.
And the world perceiveth it not, meaning that the people of the world maybe have a hard time understanding that Jesus is the light.
Okay, if you want to keep reading, go for it, Danny.
When.
Not when.
Where.
That starts with a T.
You were there was a man sent from God. His name was John. The name. Can I do this one?
He's still going. We're good.
The name
Nothing. Good.
came into the world for a
Do the first three letters that I've highlighted there.
witness
Mhm.
to bear witness of the light to not her bear record of the gospel.
Sorry. David's not helping me at all right now.
Here, do you want me to? Nothing.
Through. And it's hard when you can't even say the words.
The soon unto
Soon.
sent unto all that thing through heaven and man, which really just means people. version. That was the true light which things vary. Man,
Light to every.
the
Not that.
that
No.
He's
Look at the
reading
word.
the left side.
Oh.
Read this side.
who
Read that word.
come
Cometh.
unto the world. It's actually into the world, but anyway.
Pretty good.
Alright. Even the Son of God, he who was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God. Only to them who believe on his name,
Can I do?
as opposed to even to them that believe on his name.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
He was born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. And the same Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld its glory, the glory of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. John bare witness of him and cried, saying, This is he of whom I spake, for he who cometh after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. For in the beginning was the Word, even the Son, who was made flesh and sent unto us by the will of the Father, and as many as believe on his name shall receive of his fullness, and of his fullness we have all received, even immortality and eternal life through his grace. Wow, and it's really, really short in normal version.
Yes. Okay.
Four.
Maylee wants to do 17. Ready? 4.
For the law
Was given
from good
to Moses,
to Moses,
but life
from life
and truth
and truth
came through
came through
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Good job. For the law was after a carnal commandment, the administration of death, but the gospel was after the power of an endless life through Jesus Christ, the only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father. And no man hath seen God at any time, except he hath borne record of the Son. For except it is through him, no man can be saved.
So verse 18 was taken out. See? Or
Yes.
Yep.
was after.
So,
That was quite a lot of stuff.
So what were some of the truths about Jesus that were in that testimony? You guys think of anything that you learned about Jesus
Jesus?
in those scriptures? Or maybe not necessarily that you learned, but that you would be able to tell someone, hey, this is something I know about Jesus that's in these verses.
He was a little kid and he had to learn. It said that he was born of the will of God.
He was born of the will of God.
Maybe the first 5 verses I'm particularly interested in. And the light shineth in the world, and the world perceiveth it not.
Maybe, what did you have to say?
So, is it like I'm kind of going that way.
Okay, did that have to do with what we're doing for scriptures?
No.
Can you think of, are you going to tell me something that you learned about Jesus? Because
Jesus' birth.
he was born. Yeah. One thing it says, it talks about that Jesus was with the Father before he was born, that he was there in the beginning.
True. So that means God was already there. Was a little kid.
Yeah. But even like before he was even born,
Yeah. He was,
in the pre-existence,
he was about negative 100.
negative years.
Negative infinity years old, practically.
Is
What?
it going to be something about Jesus?
So, Jesus got born.
Yeah, he was born. That was your last comment too.
Why do you think John began his gospel with these truths?
Negative. He probably believed in Jesus.
Yeah, John wrote, if I remember correctly, John wrote his gospel, those books of scriptures primarily for the believers of
Sounds
the
right.
church. Because Luke was for the Gentiles and Matthew was for the Jews.
And
vice
what
versa?
about? I think there was one more.
Maybe.
I don't remember.
Regardless, because Luke was a
Mark.
tax collector.
What about Mark?
I
Publican.
thought it was Matthew that was.
I'm getting them mixed up.
I'm
But
not
I'm
sure.
pretty sure John was the one that wrote for the believers. And please do not interrupt, remember.
Okay.
So, why I think that John began his gospel with these truths, because it was important for us to understand why he's even writing about why Jesus Christ is even so important. Because he's talking about how we can be saved. So, do you have an answer to that question, Maylee? Why do you think John began with those truths? Do you have an answer to that question?
I wanted to tell you something.
About Jesus Christ, about what we're reading?
So, Jesus left us.
Yeah, that's
For
right.
all of us. Yeah. Even me.
So I think Aunt Maylie is talking about things that this part of the study manual is talking about. Like, we need to consider writing our witness of Jesus Christ and what we would want to share in Jesus. So Maylie was talking about at least two things: that Jesus Christ was born and that he loves us. Those are the things that Maylie would share.
Yeah. Can you guys think of anything else that, if you were writing down your witness, what else would you write about Jesus?
Okay.
Jesus was born and he knows who he was born.
I know who he was born from. Okay, Sam.
Come and see.
Yeah.
But what would someone come and see? What would they see about Jesus if they came?
Come and see. Well, maybe come into church. You feel the Holy Ghost.
Because of that, the Holy Ghost will bear witness of Jesus Christ.
Come to church and see.
Yeah. Can you think of anything else, Danny, that you would say about Jesus?
That would probably be at the very end.
Who might be blessed by hearing your testimony?
Yes, maybe.
Jesus can hear our prayers.
Yeah.
You can hear our prayers. Yeah.
But who might be blessed by hearing our testimony?
Yeah. Who could you tell about Jesus in that way?
Lots of people.
Lots of people. Like who?
Like the bishop.
Yeah, you could share your testimony with Bishop. That's fine.
Yeah.
Who else?
Share your testimony with your family.
Yes.
Family.
Somebody who doesn't believe in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could add you could sometimes there's also you can also teach some people about the gospel. Anybody.
Okay.
Okay.
So let it be written.